Right now, in a Birmingham homicide case, Shattice Jackson, a 30-year-old mother, is facing a capital murder charge after police say she ran over 27-year-old Mickis Bostik, the father of her children, during a gathering on Easter Sunday.
Officers say a woman intentionally drove into Mickis James Bostik. The information just disturbing as investigators say he was wedged between a vehicle and a home on Lisa Lane. Detectives believe some of his children were there.
She would do him so cruelly. It's so wrong. It's not fair. It's not right, but he's a good person. He's truly gonna be missed. You know, a long time ago they said there's a few good men left. He was one of them. He was going to provide for his family, and he's going to do the things that he needed to do for his family.
And today she made her first court appearance. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson was in the courtroom. And Gracie, what happened?
Muriel, Shattice Jackson appeared in court this morning for the first time since her arrest. She was initially brought before Judge William Bell, but the case was moved to Judge Hudson for a bond hearing. In that hearing, Judge Hudson told Jackson she's charged with capital murder and will be held on no bond. Jackson mentioned that her family plans to hire an attorney, but has not named the attorney just yet. The charge comes after a violent scene Sunday night on Lisa Lane. Birmingham police say Jackson and Bostik, who share children, got into an argument during a birthday party that was also an Easter gathering. Allegedly, she left, came back, may have fired a shot, and then hit Bostik with her vehicle, trapping him against a house. He died on the scene, and at least one child may have been present during this incident.
Imagine a perfect spring day. April 20th, 2025. Easter Sunday in Birmingham, Alabama. The air smells of barbecue, children's laughter echoes, and colorful Easter eggs dot the grass. A moonwalk bounces with excited kids, and a water slide glistens under the sun. It's a celebration, a father's gift to his daughter on her 7th birthday. But by nightfall, this joyful scene becomes a nightmare. A man lies crushed against his own home, his children screaming, watching their father's final moments. The woman behind the wheel? his girlfriend, the mother of his kids. Mickis Bostik was a man who lived for his family, a 27-year-old who poured his heart into creating memories for his 5 children. But on that fateful Easter, an argument spiraled into unimaginable violence. Shattice Jackson, his 30-year-old girlfriend, is accused of running him over with an SUV, pinning him against a house. The details are chilling: gunshots, a deadly chase, and children left traumatized. How did a day of celebration end in such horror? Stick with us as we unravel this tragedy, piece by piece. Birmingham, Alabama, is a city of vibrant communities, but it's no stranger to violence. In 2025, the city reported a homicide rate of 36 per 100,000 people, one of the highest in the U.S. Yet, this case stands out. Why? Because it happened in front of children. Because it involved a man who was the backbone of his family. Because it exposes the hidden dangers of domestic disputes that escalate too quickly. Mickis wasn't just a statistic. He was a juvenile court officer, a man who worked 48-hour shifts to provide for his kids. He was a father who treated his girlfriend's children as his own. His death isn't just a loss for his family, it's a wake-up call for all of us. Domestic violence doesn't discriminate. It can erupt in the happiest of moments, leaving scars that last a lifetime. Tonight, we'll explore Mickis' life, the events leading to his death, and the ongoing fight for justice. Easter Sunday, 2025, was warm and sunny in Birmingham. Families gathered for church, egg hunts, and barbecues. At 700 Lisa Lane, Mickis Bostik's home was the heart of a celebration. Nearly 50 guests filled the yard, enjoying a moonwalk, water slide, and enough ribs to feed a small army. It was a dual celebration, Easter and his youngest daughter's birthday. Mickis had planned every detail, from the colorful eggs to the music blasting through speakers. But beneath the joy, tension simmered. Mickis and Shattice Jackson, his girlfriend of years, had a complex relationship. They shared 3 children and raised 2 others, but family members later revealed troubling dynamics. By evening, that tension exploded. A domestic dispute called police to the scene. They left, thinking it was resolved. They were wrong. 10 minutes later, gunshots rang out, an SUV roared, and Mickis' life ended in a way no one could have predicted. This case raises questions. How did love turn to lethal rage? Could this tragedy have been prevented? And what does justice look like for a family torn apart? Welcome to Dark Truth Files. Before we dive deeper, we need your help. By liking, sharing, and subscribing, you're helping us spread awareness about cases like this. Domestic violence affects millions. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men experience it in their lifetime, according to the CDC. Your support could save a life. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And let us know in the comments. Have you ever witnessed a situation escalate like this? Your stories matter. Now let's honor Mickis by telling his story. The story of a man who lived with love and died in tragedy. Mickis James Bostik was more than a victim. He was a son, a brother, a father, and a pillar of his community. Born in Birmingham in 1998, Mickis grew up in a tight-knit family, surrounded by siblings and aunts who adored him. His sister, Catherine, described him as our rock, the one who held everyone together. From a young age, Mickis showed a fierce work ethic. After graduating from Woodlawn High School, he didn't waste time. He joined Jefferson County's workforce, landing a job as a juvenile court officer at just 18. For nearly 9 years, he served with dedication, often working 48 or 72-hour shifts without sleep. His job wasn't just a paycheck. It was a calling. Mickis worked with troubled youth, guiding them through the justice system with compassion. Colleagues called him relentless, a man who stayed late to ensure every case was handled right. A Jefferson County spokesperson later said, "His nearly 9 years of service left a mark on all who knew him." But Mickey's true passion was his family. He was a father to 3 biological children, including a daughter who turned 7 on that fateful Easter. He also raised Shattice Jackson's 2 children from a previous relationship as his own, creating a blended family of 5. Mickey's lived by a simple rule: family first, always. His sister Bernita recalled, "He put his kids before everything. Whether it was planning elaborate birthday parties or getting down on the floor to play after a long shift, Mickey's was there." His Aunt Rosemary said, "Those children were his world. He didn't distinguish between his biological kids and his stepchildren. To him, they were all his. He'd spend hours helping with homework, attending school events, or just laughing with them in the backyard." His youngest daughter's 7th birthday was a testament to his love. An all-out bash with a moonwalk, water slide, and enough food for 50 guests. That party wasn't cheap. Mickey's worked overtime to afford it, often taking extra shifts at the courthouse. His sister Catherine said he'd come home tired but still make time for those kids. His generosity extended beyond his family. Neighbors described him as the guy who'd share his barbecue with anyone who stopped by. At family gatherings, Mickey's was the life of the party, cracking jokes and blasting music. His Aunt Brenda Fraser put it best. "They said there's a few good men left. He was one of them." Mickey's love for Shattice Jackson was deep, despite their challenges. The couple had been together for years, building a life around their 5 children. Just weeks before his death, Mickey's posted a video of Shattice, proudly calling her his soon-to-be wife. He dreamed of marriage, a stable home, and a future for their family. But beneath the surface, there were cracks. Family members later revealed troubling dynamics. Rosemary said, "She would do him so wrong most times." Yet Mickey's stayed, driven by his love for Shattice and their kids. Catherine explained, "He loved that girl to death. That's why he never left her." His commitment wasn't just emotional, it was practical. Mickey's worked tirelessly to provide financially. Birmingham's cost of living was rising in 2025, with median home prices hitting $150,000 and childcare costs soaring. Yet Mickey's ensured his kids had everything: clothes, toys, and memories. His career at Jefferson County gave him stability, but it came with long hours. Still, he never complained. He'd stay at work 48 hours, 72 hours, no sleep, Catherine said. That's all he did was work. His dedication made his death even more shattering. Mickey's wasn't just a family man. He was a community figure. His work with juvenile courts touched countless lives. He mentored young people, offering them second chances. After his death, Jefferson County released a statement. "This is an extremely difficult time for his colleagues. We are praying for all involved." Neighbors remembered him as a friendly face, always ready to lend a hand. His death sent shockwaves through Roebuck Springs, a neighborhood already grappling with crime. In 2025, Birmingham saw 135 homicides per police data. Mickey's murder wasn't just another number. It was a tragedy that exposed the fragility of even the strongest lives. As we move forward, remember Mickey's legacy. A man who worked hard, loved deeply, and lived for his kids. His story could have ended with birthday cakes and Easter eggs. Instead, it ended in violence. How did this happen? April the 20th, 2025, dawned bright in Birmingham. The weather was ideal, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny, a perfect day for celebration. At 700 Lisa Lane, Mickis Bostik's home buzzed with excitement. He'd been planning this day for weeks. It was Easter Sunday, but also his youngest daughter's 7th birthday. Mickey's went all out. A colorful moonwalk stood in the backyard, bouncing with kids. A water slide shimmered, kids shrieking as they slid down. Plastic Easter eggs, stuffed with candy and toys, were hidden everywhere, under bushes, in flower beds, behind chairs. The smell of barbecue filled the air, with Mickey's grilling slabs of ribs for nearly 50 guests. The guest list was a who's who of Mickey's life: family, friends, neighbors, co-workers. His sisters, Catherine and Bernita, helped organize games. His aunts, Rosemary and Brenda, chatted with guests. The kids, including Mickey's 5, ran wild, their laughter infectious. Shattice Jackson, the children's mother, was there too, mingling with guests. To outsiders, she seemed fine, just another parent enjoying the day. Photos from the party, later shared by family, showed smiling faces, kids clutching Easter baskets, and Mickey's beaming with pride. It was a magnificent day, Catherine later said, her voice breaking. But not everything was perfect. Mickey's and Shattice had a history of arguments, some serious enough to worry family. That morning, small signs of tension surfaced. Witnesses later told police the couple exchanged sharp words, though nothing seemed alarming. Mickey's, ever the host, kept the party going, brushing off any friction. He wanted his daughter's day to be special. By afternoon, the celebration was in full swing. Kids raced down the water slide, adults helped themselves to ribs, and music blasted. No one could have predicted the storm brewing. As the sun dipped, the mood shifted. Around 6 p.m., an argument between Mickey's and Shattice escalated. It wasn't clear what sparked it. Some say it was a lingering issue, others a new disagreement. Whatever the cause, it grew heated enough for someone to call 911. Birmingham police arrived at Lisa Lane, finding a tense but non-violent scene. Officers spoke to Mickey's and Shattice, assessing the situation. They found no evidence of criminal activity, no bruises, no weapons, no immediate danger. Following protocol, they separated the couple, instructing Shattice to leave. She did, and police left, believing the matter was resolved. They were wrong. Mickey's family knew it. Catherine later told reporters, "We tried to tell officers it wasn't over." Shattice had warned she'd be back, her words dripping with menace. 10 minutes later, she was. Around 8 p.m., Shattice returned to Lisa Lane, pulling into the driveway. The party was winding down, but the kids were still there, along with Mickey's sisters and other family. What started as a verbal spat reignited, this time with fury. Witnesses described raised voices, Shattice's anger palpable. The argument moved through the house, growing louder, more volatile. Then, a chilling escalation. Shattice allegedly retrieved a firearm. The mood shifted from tense to terrifying. Children, who'd been playing moments before, froze. Family members tried to intervene, but Shattice was unreachable. Suddenly, gunshots rang out. According to witnesses, she fired inside the home. Whether she aimed at Mickey's or fired to intimidate isn't clear. Police later said no one was hit, but the shot sent panic through the house. Mickey's, desperate to protect his kids, moved toward the exit. He was trying to get away from her, a family member told investigators. Mickey's fled outside, hoping to draw Shattice away from the children. It was a fatal mistake. Shattice followed, still armed, her rage unchecked. But she didn't use the gun again. Instead, she climbed into her SUV, parked in the driveway. Family members watched in horror as she started the engine. Without warning, she accelerated, aiming directly at Mickey's. He stood near the house, caught off guard. The SUV struck him with devastating force, pinning him against the exterior wall. The impact was catastrophic, crushing his body between metal and brick. The children saw it all. Their screams pierced the night, a sound neighbors later said haunted them. Mickey's 5 kids, including his 7th birthday girl, watched their father trapped, suffering. Family members rushed to help, some trying to move the SUV, others calling 911. "My brother was under the truck," Catherine recalled, her voice trembling. The scene was chaos. Kids crying, family shouting, the Easter decorations a cruel backdrop. Birmingham Fire and Rescue arrived. working frantically to free Mickis, but his injuries were too severe. At 10:21 p.m., Mickis James Bostik was pronounced dead, his life stolen in front of those he loved most. Shattice Jackson, 30, is the sole suspect in Mickis Bostik's murder. The mother of 3 of his children, she was a central figure in his life. And now, his death. Born in Birmingham, Shattice was 3 years older than Mickis, a fact that seemed insignificant in their long relationship. They'd built a blended family, raising 5 children together. To outsiders, they were a committed couple, with Mickis even calling her his soon-to-be wife. But family members paint a darker picture. Rosemary said, "She would do him so cruel and so wrong." What drove Shattice to this act of violence? Shattice's background is less documented than Mickis's, but we know she was a mother first and foremost. She brought 2 children from a previous relationship into their home, and Mickis embraced them as his own. Their 3 shared children tied them further, creating a complex family dynamic. Shattice was present at the Easter party, helping with the kids and mingling with guests. But her interactions with Mickis that day hinted at underlying issues. Witnesses noted moments of tension, small arguments that flared and faded. Was there a history of volatility we don't yet know? The relationship between Mickis and Shattice was a mix of love and conflict. Mickis's devotion was clear. He stayed with her despite family concerns. "He loved that girl to death," Catherine said. But that love came at a cost. Family members reported prior incidents where Shattice mistreated Mickis, though specifics are scarce. Rosemary's comment about cruel treatment suggests emotional or verbal abuse, possibly physical. Domestic violence isn't always visible, and men can be victims too. In 2025, 1 in 7 men reported experiencing intimate partner violence, per the CDC. Was Mickis silently enduring this? The Easter Sunday dispute wasn't their first. Police had been called to their home before, though no arrests were made. That day, the initial argument seemed minor, perhaps about parenting, money, or past grievances. But Shattice's threat to return was a red flag. She stated she was going to come back, Catherine told police, a warning officers didn't act on. When Shattice returned, her actions suggest premeditation. Retrieving a gun, firing shots, then using the SUV as a weapon weren't impulsive acts. They were deliberate. But what pushed her to this extreme? Motive in domestic violence cases is often complex. Was it jealousy, control, a personal betrayal? Without Shattice's testimony, we can only speculate, but let's explore possibilities. First, relationship strain. Blended families face unique challenges. Differing parenting styles, financial pressures, or unresolved issues from past relationships. Mickis's long hours may have caused friction, leaving Shattice feeling neglected or overwhelmed. Second, emotional volatility. Shattice's rapid escalation, gunshots to vehicular assault, suggests intense rage, possibly fueled by untreated mental health issues or substance use, though no evidence confirms this. Third, a specific trigger. The argument's details remain unclear, but family members suggest it was a continuation of earlier tensions. Did Mickis confront Shattice about something? Was there a betrayal, real or perceived? Video shows Shattice smiled and laughed in court, suggesting a lack of remorse. What could this mean, though? Finally, control. Domestic violence often stems from a need to dominate. Shattice's actions, firing a gun, chasing Mickis, using the SUV, could reflect a desperate bid to assert power. This case doesn't exist in a vacuum. Birmingham's high crime rate, 135 homicides in 2025, creates a backdrop of tension. Domestic violence calls are common, stretching police resources thin. In Alabama, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience intimate partner violence, per state data. Yet, male victims like Mickis often face stigma, making it harder to seek help. Shattice's actions also highlight the lethality of domestic disputes. In 2025, 20% of U.S. homicides were linked to intimate partner violence, per the FBI. Could early intervention have saved Mickis? The police's decision to leave after the initial call is pivotal. Officers followed protocol, but the family's warnings went unheeded. This raises questions about training and resources. Birmingham's police department, underfunded in 2025, struggled to handle domestic calls effectively. Shattice's return, just 10 minutes later, shows how quickly situations can escalate. Her motives may never be fully clear, but her actions changed everything. Let's now explore a twist in the investigation that deepens this tragedy. The investigation into Mickis Bostik's murder revealed a heart-wrenching twist. It could have been prevented. Let's rewind to that Easter evening. Around 6 p.m., Birmingham police responded to a domestic dispute at 700 Lisa Lane. Mickis and Shattice were arguing, voices raised, but no physical violence was evident. Officers assessed the situation, following standard protocol for non-criminal disputes. They separated the couple, instructing Shattice to leave. She complied, and police departed, believing the situation was under control. But Mickis's family knew better. Catherine Bostik begged officers to stay. "We tried to tell them it wasn't over," she later told investigators. Shattice had made an ominous threat. She stated she was going to come back. This warning, overheard by family, was a glaring red flag. Domestic violence experts say threats to return often signal intent to escalate. Yet, officers left, citing no arrestable offense. 10 minutes later, Shattice was back, armed and enraged. The gunshots, the SUV, the tragedy, all unfolded in that narrow window. Could police have acted differently? When 911 calls flooded in at 8 p.m., Birmingham police returned in force. Over 25 vehicles descended on Lisa Lane, their lights piercing the night. Officers found chaos. Mickis pinned against the house, family members screaming, children sobbing. Birmingham Fire and Rescue worked to free him, but his injuries were fatal. At 10:21 p.m., Mickis was pronounced dead. Police took Shattice into custody without incident. She remained at the scene, dazed, making no attempt to flee. Detectives began processing the homicide, interviewing adult witnesses and gently speaking with the children in a trauma-informed manner. The investigation moved swiftly. Evidence was clear. The SUV's damage matched Mickis's injuries, and witnesses confirmed Shattice's actions. The gunshots inside the home complicated the case. Police recovered a firearm, though it's unclear if it was used to threaten or harm. No one was hit, but the shots added to the charge's severity. The children's presence was critical. Alabama law allows capital murder charges when a homicide occurs in front of a child under 14, elevating the case's stakes.
Family members were visibly upset because their loved one was just hit, and officers could not get the scene under control with East Precinct officers.
By morning, Shattice was charged with capital murder, held without bond in Jefferson County Jail. Birmingham police officer Truman Fitzgerald called it one of the most disturbing domestic violence cases we've encountered. The community was outraged, not just at Shattice, but at the system. Why didn't police heed the family's warnings? In 2025, Birmingham's police department faced criticism for understaffing and inadequate domestic violence training. A 2024 report noted only 10% of officers had specialized training for such calls. The department's budget, strained by rising crime, limited resources for prevention programs. Residents demanded answers, some protesting outside City Hall. This twist exposes a systemic issue. Studies show 70% of domestic violence homicides occur after police intervention, often due to missed warning signs. Shattice's threat wasn't idle. She acted on it. Could a protective order, extended police presence, or a welfare check have saved Mickis? The family believes so. 10 minutes later, we were calling police, Catherine said. My brother was under the truck. This failure haunts the investigation, raising questions about accountability and reform. As of May 4th, 2025, the investigation is ongoing, with new details emerging. Shattice's first court appearance on April 23rd was brief. She appeared before Judge William Bell, then Judge Hudson, who confirmed her no-bond status. She mentioned hiring an attorney but provided no name. A second hearing was set for April 30th, allowing her lawyer to file a notice of appearance. Prosecutors are building a strong case, relying on witness statements, forensic evidence, and the children's accounts. The capital murder charge carries the possibility of the death penalty, a decision that divides the community. Investigators are also exploring Shattice's past. Were there prior domestic violence reports, mental health issues, substance use? These questions remain unanswered, but they could shape the trial. The children's trauma is another focus. Social services are providing counseling, but the long-term impact is profound. The investigation's twist, police inaction, continues to fuel debate. Birmingham's mayor vowed to review domestic violence protocols, but for Mickis' family, it's too late. Let's now look at where the case stands today and the fight for justice. As of May 4th, 2025, Shattice Jackson remains in Jefferson County Jail, charged with capital murder. Her case is in its early stages, but the stakes are high. Alabama's capital murder statute allows the death penalty or life without parole, especially when a child witnesses the crime. Shattice's second court appearance, scheduled for April 30th, was meant to confirm her attorney. No updates confirm whether this happened, but prosecutors are moving forward. The case could take months, even years, to reach trial, given Birmingham's backlog. Over 500 felony cases pending in 2025, per court records. Prosecutors have a mountain of evidence. The SUV's damage, Mickis' injuries, and witness statements form a tight case. The children's accounts, though traumatic to collect, are pivotal. Forensic analysis of the firearm and ballistics from the gunshots could add charges. Shattice's defense is unclear. Will she claim self-defense, mental instability? Her silence in court offers no clues. News channels reported she appeared dazed at the scene, which could hint at a psychological defense. The trial will be a battle, with Mickis' family watching closely. The Bostik family is shattered. Catherine, Mickis' sister, became their voice, speaking to reporters with raw pain. There's no going on without him. He was our rock. They've gathered at their mother's home, rallying around the 5 children. The kids, aged 7 to early teens, are struggling. They saw their father die, a trauma that could last a lifetime. Social workers are involved, but the family leans on each other. Extended relatives help with child care and meals, trying to fill the void Mickis left. Those children were his world, Rosemary said. The family's grief is compounded by anger. They believe police failed Mickis. We tried to tell them, Catherine said of the ignored warnings. They are now navigating the justice system, attending hearings and meeting prosecutors. They want Shattice to face the maximum penalty, but no punishment can bring Mickis back. The children's future is their focus. We're going to make sure those kids know who their father was, Catherine vowed. Not just how he died, but how he lived. Birmingham is reeling. Mickis' death sparked outrage, with residents demanding better police training. A vigil drew hundreds, with candles lighting up Lisa Lane. Neighbors left flowers at the site, now a grim reminder of that Easter night. Local leaders called for action. This can't happen again, a council member told the reporters. The case has also fueled debate over the death penalty. Some want Shattice executed. Others, including church groups, argue for life imprisonment, citing her role as a mother. The Bostik family launched a foundation in Mickis' name to support kids affected by domestic violence. It's a small light in the darkness, ensuring his legacy lives on. Community groups are raising funds for the children's education, a nod to Mickis' dream of their success. But the pain remains. Birmingham's 2025 homicide tally, 135 and counting, shows a city struggling. Mickis' case is a call to address domestic violence head-on, with better resources, training, and awareness. Mickis James Bostik was a man of love and duty. He lived for his children, worked tirelessly for his community, and dreamed of a brighter future. His Easter celebration, with its moonwalk and water slide, was a gift to his daughter, a memory now tainted but never erased. He was a father who never distinguished between his kids, a brother who held his family together, and a man who left a mark on everyone he met. His death was senseless, but his life was profound. We honor Mickis by telling his story, by remembering his laughter, his barbecue, his heart. To Mickis' family, we offer our deepest condolences. To his children, we promise to keep your father's legacy alive. And to our viewers, we ask, how can we prevent tragedies like this? What can we do to stop domestic violence before it turns deadly? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Dark Truth Files to stay updated on this case and others. Hit the bell. We're not done seeking justice. For Mickis, for his kids, for Birmingham. Let's keep fighting.